Welcome to the Three Mouseketeers, the sibling podcast that understands your Disney addiction. I am your middle brother, Jared.
I'm Amanda.
And I'm the youngest sibling, Emily.
We have a very fun show, I think, this week. Let's go ahead and get into the news. Disneyland apparently has a new king. First-time Disneyland goer Sam was told that if he pulled the sword from the stone, he would win a prize. So guess what he did?
Did he pull the sword from the stone?
He did, with brute force. He just pulled it out.
Wow, so he just ripped it out of the stone.
Yes, pretty much.
I don't think that's supposed to happen.
It's not
so
supposed
either.
to happen. No, for sure. Apparently, the attraction was kind of old and deteriorating. Because I don't think they use it anymore, really, right?
I think it's more of like a photo opportunity now.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. But I guess Sam didn't get a prize. So I'm sure he was pretty bummed. Although it's kind of
Probably
internet,
so.
maybe being internet famous at this point is your prize.
That's a good prize for a lot of people these days.
Yeah. I mean, everybody gets their 15 minutes, right?
Right.
He was basically coaxed into attempting it by a friend of his. And his friend was just like, hey, if you pull it from the stone, you get a prize. And he went over there and just started yanking it out.
Have you ever tried to pull the sword from the stone like the one at Disney World?
I have. It doesn't move.
It does not move. So I really want to know how this guy did this because, that's some muscle right there.
Apparently, he was like a pretty beefy dude.
But still, I don't know. He's winning some strongman competitions or something.
Yeah. What's your verdict? Do you think he is now the king of Disneyland? Should we start calling him author?
King Sam, hello. King of Disneyland.
I'm into it. He should
I
have.
wonder if he got in trouble for breaking it.
I don't know. I mean,
people pull on it all the
doubtful.
time. You can't. How can you get him in trouble whenever everybody else is doing it too? Just nobody else was strong enough to do it.
I can just imagine this guy over there with both legs up on the side off the ground, just yanking with all of his might.
Lifetime ban.
Yeah.
Oh, that would
Poor
be
Sam.
terrible. Yeah,
First
because
and
it was
last
the
trip to
first
Disneyland.
and last trip ever.
Poor guy.
All right, Emily, why don't you go ahead and give us a history fact?
Okay. I think everyone knows the Haunted Mansion ghost host. I'm sure both of you are familiar with the ghost host, right?
Oh, yes.
Of course.
Yeah, he's a pretty classic narrator of the ride. But I bet a bunch of people don't know that Walt Disney was actually the original ghost host voice.
What?
That is very fun.
I know, but apparently it was later scrapped for the ghost host that we have now, and it was never actually used in the attraction, but they did record it. And I don't know if that recording is still around. I kind of have a feeling it's not, but if it is, they should release it just so that we all can hear it.
I bet it is somewhere. I bet that if you call Disney, then they will be like, oh, yeah, we know exactly where it is. And then I will be like, oh, well, you should let me have it. And they say, oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, just come grab it. We'll let you into the vault. And you can just have it. It's yours now.
Call your connections and get that hooked up.
I will. As soon as
We'll
we're
play
done
it on
here.
the show.
You just call and tell them it's Jared, host of the Three Mouseketeers. And they're going to be like, oh, yeah, Jared.
Oh, yeah, I love that show.
The middle brother.
Yeah, I'm the middle brother.
Perfect. Now for our travel tip. Who likes to save money?
I don't.
Oh, okay. Well, then this tip isn't for you.
Well, I do. So this tip could be for me.
This is for you, Em. So, a great way to save money on your Disney trips is to use gift cards. And the way to do that is to get discounts when you buy the gift cards. So, places like Target, Sam's, BJ's Warehouse, and Kroger, if you have a Kroger card and buy gas, those allow you to get discounts on your cards. And so whenever you pay for your hotel, tickets, meals, souvenirs, you're really getting a discount on all of those because you got a discount on the gift card.
Oh, that's very interesting. You would have to really buy a whole lot of gift cards at discount to really go all out on a vacation. I'm into this.
I mean, at Target, if you use your red card, you could save 5%. So, I mean, that could save you quite a bit of money if you're paying with your whole vacation with gift cards. That's a lot of money you've saved.
Yeah, it is.
That's true. And I've never taken advantage of this specific tip, but I did get Disney gift cards for Christmas this year. And then we took our Disneyland trip right after. And we used gift cards on food, souvenirs, literally anything at the park. They accept the gift cards. So it's really easy and convenient to just pay like that. And especially if you have it all paid for up front, basically.
Well,
Exactly.
it's a good way for family members to give you the gift of Disney.
Yeah,
is.
and they could give you the gift of Disney at a discounted price.
They can.
So what you could do is you could save like every month if you know you're going to Disney. Say, okay, every month I'm going to put $50 towards my Disney fund or $100 or whatever, and use your Target card and save, 5%.
Yeah,
And then
I
you're
think it's also probably a pretty good way to know what you're spending at the park because I know sometimes it can get a little like out of hand once you're seeing things left and right that you want to buy. But if you have gift cards and you know exactly how much is on each one and how much you have like set aside to spend, then it's a good way to keep track of it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And then you're not spending $400 on pens.
rain in
Jared.
the. Is that what you spent? Are you kidding me?
No, no, I'm exaggerating, but I did spend quite a lot because I'm not only buying for me now, I'm also buying for my daughter.
And
You've
you can't
created
say
a
no to
monster.
her.
I can't.
Now it's time for this or that. This week's this or that is Shanghai Disneyland or Disneyland Paris. Which would you prefer?
Emily, why don't you go first?
Okay.
Because I have to think about this.
Well, I think I have to think about it too, but I'll just think faster. I want to see both parks, obviously. I think anyone who is a Disney parks person kind of has the goal to see all the parks around the world. At least I do, definitely. Um, so in a way, it's both, but I know that for the sake of the show, I have to pick one. So I think I lean a little more towards Shanghai Disney, and I have some reasons for that. Like Disneyland Paris, I know it's supposed to be a beautiful park, but I have also heard that it does have like kind of like a more sophisticated feel out of all the parks.
So you would
Whereas
say
I
it has a
feel,
more sophisticated grace?
yeah.
It's from Frozen. Come on.
What?
Let it go. Just let it go.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I think that Hyperspace Mountain at Disneyland Paris looks really cool. And of course, they have Ratatouille, which we'll be getting soon. So we'll actually get to see that one. But overall, Shanghai Disney has the biggest castle out of all of the Disney parks. And there's attractions actually in the castle. And they have Tron. And they have a really different, cool Pirates of the Caribbean. And I just like the feel that I'm getting, at least from what I've seen online, of Shanghai Disney a little bit more.
You
What
know we're
do
getting
y'all?
Tron too.
I know we are getting Tron, and I'm super excited to ride that, but as of right now, uh, it would be cool to go to Shanghai and ride it now.
So it's kind of like
Okay.
Paris and Shanghai are both going to Disney World.
At
Yeah,
least
they're
a ride.
yeah.
Yeah. But it's something from both of those parks that you can actually enjoy in the future at Disney World.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's fun. I'm going to have to say that I'm probably leaning more towards Shanghai as well, just because it has more of the thrill ride attractions. It seems like Disney Paris is built more to be a beautiful park and be associated with like the French culture, which is great and it serves its own purpose. But for me, what I'm going to theme parks for, especially Disney, is the thrill rides. Obviously, you know that my favorite is the Tower of Terror. So, anything that goes fast or drops you or whatever, I'm into. Uh, with that being said, it has Tron, it has the Pirates of the Caribbean, which looks like an amazing ride. If you haven't seen it, definitely go watch some videos of it. And it's not like a typical Pirates of the Caribbean ride because they wanted to immerse the ride goers even more than anything else.
I do think that ride looks awesome.
It
Just
looks
saying.
amazing. So yeah, I would definitely say Shanghai at this point, even though it does have some flaws. I would say that it would probably be a better experience once you're in the park.
Okay. Well, we asked our listeners, and this is what a few of you had to say. Tommy Teague said, I want to visit Paris, so visiting Disneyland while there would add to an already awesome trip.
Yeah, I bet it would. I'm just worried that you're not going to want to go to anything else in Paris. Like it just seems splitting the two would be kind of difficult. Because knowing
Yeah,
me, if I'm going for one thing, I'm going to want to go for that one thing. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
But I've heard Disneyland Paris isn't ginormous, so it's not like Disney World. So going for 2 or 3 days, you're going to see everything pretty much. And then
yeah.
you have your other 5 to 10 days to visit Paris and the rest of France.
That's fair.
Yeah, and I know there are two parks at Disneyland Paris. There's like the Disneyland Paris park, and then there's also the Walt Disney Studios park. But from what I've seen, the Walt Disney Studios park is not a full day park at all. So I really think, yeah, like Amanda was saying, Disneyland Paris is not like a huge take a week out of your trip thing.
Right. The only one that's really, really like that is Disney World, honestly.
Yeah,
Nothing else compares to that.
no, I don't think so either, even though I've haven't seen them all.
Right. So Angela Feel said, I've been to both. Disneyland Paris was my first Disney experience at 21 years old. I would go back to Paris. Disney Shanghai was cool, but I felt uneasy leaving the Disney bubble.
That's very
And I
fair.
think that could be an issue for me.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're going specifically for Disney, you're really not going to leave that bubble.
True.
Yeah, I think it's really cool that she's seen both of those parks. Not a lot of people get to say that they've done that.
That's right.
Very true.
And then Chris Hollis said, Disneyland Paris for me. I would love to see the cutting edge of Shanghai, and we will, but I worry about the pollution of Shanghai with small children and most of it being Chinese. That isn't as much of an issue in Paris since I can speak and read French.
Humble brag.
For real.
And I can say that because Chris is your husband, Amanda.
That's true.
You know, I understand the worrying about pollution with small children, but you get to wear one of those cute little masks.
That's not why you wear those
That's
cute
not
little
why you wear
masks.
those.
I know, but they've made them such a like fashion statement there, and they have like all different types of them that I would not mind wearing one.
At this point, though, with the coronavirus stuff going on, I don't know if I would want to go to Shanghai right now.
Yeah, definitely would not.
Yeah, but once all that is solved,
Yeah.
I'm down to go.
That's fair.
So for me, I think I would lean towards Paris. And the reason why is because I've gone to Tokyo Disney and to Hong Kong Disney. And after going to both of those, I really enjoyed Hong Kong. It was smaller and you could pretty much walk on to any ride, which
That's
was
nice.
a nice change of pace from Disney World where you stand in line forever for anything. So being able to walk on whatever you wanted to ride over and over again without waiting was very nice. And I kind of feel like Disneyland Paris is probably a lot like that. So that's part of the reason, but I also want to go to Paris. So, get a 2-for-1 deal. But
Yeah.
I can tell you my decision was really hard after I watched the Imagineering story and watched about how they built Shanghai Disneyland because it really does look amazing.
It really does.
I know. And I love they had like a quote about it whenever they were first opening Shanghai Disney. And they said it's authentically Disney and distinctly Chinese. And that, like, I don't know. It seems like a really cool park.
It really does. Another thing to me, it seems like a lot of the parks, as they age a little bit, they get a lot better. And so I kind of want Shanghai to age a little bit so I have more to enjoy.
Yeah, because they'll be adding and improving and all of that as the years go on.
Exactly. So while I do want to go, I think I'd rather do Paris first.
Well, that's going to bring us into our main topic. Our main topic this week is the nighttime shows at the Disney parks worldwide. And because we're talking about Shanghai and Paris, we have a show that is at both parks. So the two shows that I'm talking about, and the first two that we're going to discuss is Spectacularly Sparkly. That one's at Paris. And then Ignite the Dream. That one's in Shanghai. And Spectacularly Sparkly actually has a few other words. I didn't write them down. I just know it as Spectacularly Sparkly. And that's where the name of this episode comes from. These two shows are pretty much identical. There are slight differences just because of the capabilities that they have in Shanghai that they don't have in Paris. But for the most part, they're pretty much the same show.
They are. They're close enough to talk about together.
Because they both have pretty much the same projection on the castle, even though Paris is a smaller castle and, especially comparative to Shanghai. Also, Shanghai has the water wall projection where Paris does not. Paris does have a few like water features, but it's not the projection that you would see, almost like in Phantasmic or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, both of these shows are really neat. Purely like my favorite thing about them was that Mickey Mouse is the host of the show and he takes you from like one scene to the next. And I like anything that they incorporate Mickey Mouse into because I feel like he should be incorporated into more in the parks. And
Agreed.
he's kind of not. We're finally a little bit off topic, but we're finally getting a ride that has Mickey Mouse in it. So maybe they're starting to realize that people want more of him.
Maybe, but we'll see as it goes along. One of the things that I want to talk about specifically about these two shows is I love how the interaction between the projection and the fireworks are. There was one point where Mickey blew a flower and then fireworks of the same color came out from behind the castle. And that's a really nice touch.
Yeah,
It is.
I feel like Disney has been getting better and better with their incorporation of the fireworks with the shows and how they like mesh together instead of being like, here's a show and here's some fireworks behind it. Now it's like all incorporated as one and it goes along together.
Yeah, they definitely have stepped up their game. And I really am interested to see where they go from here because they've already started to do a lot of very interesting things with their nighttime shows. And I mean, obviously, it can only get better, right?
Well,
Right.
I have heard that they're considering using like some drones to start doing like different things with projections with drones, which I think would be really cool.
Yeah, see, that would be fun because I know that they've done it at the Olympics before, and they've
Yeah.
done it for other like big major events as well. Not Disney necessarily, but other people.
Right. Now, something I did want to mention, even though these shows are very similar, I can tell you, you probably do not want to watch Ignite the Dream first and then watch Spectacularly Sparkly right after because Spectacularly Sparkly will seem not so
Spectacular.
spectacular
Yeah.
after you watch the one at Shanghai. The one there, because of the castle being so big, it's just so much bigger and nicer and more dramatic than the one in Paris. I think if I would have watched them in reverse, I would have been like, yes, that one in Paris is awesome. But after watching the one in Shanghai, it was kind of a disappointment.
Yeah, see, that's exactly how I watched it. I watched Spectacularly Sparkly, and then I watched Ignite the Dream. So I remember having the conversation with you, Amanda, and you were saying, "Oh, well, I like Shanghai is better," and I watched the one in Paris, and I was like, "This is amazing! What are you talking about?" And then I watched the one in Shanghai, and I was like, "Oh no, I get it now. Okay."
Yeah.
But obviously, that's us watching them on YouTube. If you actually get to experience either of these in person, like it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that, but I think that the one in Shanghai is just better, even
It's
though
just
it's
Yeah,
hard to
pretty much
but
the
compete.
same show.
it's
Yeah.
hard to compete whenever they have the biggest castle and you're projecting onto the biggest castle.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
And a water wall,
Yeah.
which nobody else has. So, I mean, it is hard to compete with that. But the show itself, I really liked like the projection that they had. It was really cool. I think they used a lot of good pieces of different shows and things.
Yeah, it has Star Wars.
Woohoo!
It has Star Wars, and it is amazing. And I was really excited to see that they actually incorporated that into it.
It was cool to see a little bit of Star Wars, I guess.
That's going to bring us to the next nighttime show that we want to talk about, and this one's going to be World of Color. Emily, you just went to Disneyland, and you did not watch this show. Why did you not watch it?
I did not. And I feel awful about it already, so no one needs to make me feel worse. But in my defense, we had been up since 2 a.m. to go to the airport, went straight to Disney, and we were there all day. And I wore brand new shoes, even though I know better because I am a seasoned park goer. But they were cute, and I wanted to take cute pictures. And it was a mistake. And by the end of the day, after we ate dinner at Lamplight Lounge, both of us could not think about anything except for climbing into bed and going to sleep. So we left. And I regret it.
The biggest
Yes.
disappointment in that story is that you wore brand new shoes.
No joke.
I know.
What were you thinking?
It literally felt like my ankle bones were on fire. It wasn't even like I was getting blisters. That was bad. But it was like my feet just were like, no, you shouldn't have worn these. And it felt like my ankles were broken. So
Or they
I
high
could get
heels?
no, they were Nikes, but I mean, I feel like I could get some sympathy from people here.
Probably not, because we all
Probably
know
not.
better.
That is true. But I really wish that I had stayed for World of Color and I had heard how great it was. And literally, whenever I woke up the next morning, I was like smacking myself for not staying and seeing it. And I really wish that I had. But fortunately, we live in a time where we can go on YouTube and watch it. And I know it's not the same. But after watching it on YouTube, like, it's so cool. It's one of the coolest shows that I've seen, I think. And it's different.
It
Yeah,
is different.
it is. It is a lot different, mostly because this show does not have fireworks.
Yeah, it
Right.
doesn't have fireworks and it's not centered around the castle and it's still like one of the main shows.
Right.
Well, Phantasmic isn't around a castle, and it's still a main show.
Yeah.
I'm
But
just
it does
saying.
have fireworks.
It does
It
have
does have
fireworks.
fireworks,
You're
yeah.
right.
But I feel like World of Color is like, in my opinion, more popular than Phantasmic now. Maybe not, but I feel like recently, since it's a newer show, it's been pretty popular.
It
Yeah,
is.
probably.
And you were talking about the fireworks. I didn't miss the fireworks in it, which is amazing because usually the fireworks is one of the things I really look for in the show. That's one of my favorite parts. So for me not to miss them in that show is huge. And it felt like there were fireworks even though there weren't.
Right, and they do that with the water features and just the projections themselves, and also the finale that they have whenever they incorporate the roller coaster and the Ferris wheel. They light up, and it kind of gives you that finale feel with
Right.
fireworks, without actually using fireworks.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't know if we mentioned, did we mention that this is at California Adventure?
It is at California Adventure. We did
Yeah,
not
I'm
mention
not
it.
sure if we mentioned that. So it's at California Adventure and it's centered around like it's on the water in front of the Ferris wheel and the Incredicoaster. So it's a really cool area. And at night, like even without the show going on, it's a really beautiful area and atmosphere. And so with the show, like it's really neat.
So
Yeah.
at night, do they have it lit up? Like the
Yeah,
lights that are used for the show, like lit up underneath the water?
no.
Okay.
I thought you were talking about like the Ferris wheel and Incredicoaster because all of that is lit up and all of the stuff around Pixar Pier is like all the lights at night. It's way cooler at night than it is during the day because the Ferris wheel like changes colors and it's really neat. But no, they do not have the lights lit up under the water for World of Color. That would be neat though.
Yeah.
One of the things that I want to talk about specifically on this show is that the Pirates of the Caribbean part is amazing.
Oh, that was one of my
Yeah.
favorite parts.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they bring in the fire element along with the water, and it seems like Disney has been doing this for a while now. Like, because I know Fantasmic has fire on water, but this one was done in a different way, and it was amazing to see like how they used the fire along with the projection of like the ship and doing the whole Pirates of the Caribbean thing.
Yeah, and going along with like the music and everything, it's I think the coolest part of the show. And whenever I was watching the YouTube video, the one that I was on, you could kind of hear some of the people in the background and stuff the whole video. And whenever the Pirates of the Caribbean part started, people were like gasping and saying, "This is so cool. Oh my gosh." And like you could hear them in the background. And like I was doing that and I'm watching it on YouTube. So I can only imagine what it would be like seeing that in person.
Right. Now, one thing that I do want to mention, if you do go to the show, don't forget you need to get up as close as you can. So bring your caution tape and rope off an area. That way you can save your spot.
Jared's just out here trying to get people lifetime bans.
Yeah,
Well,
more
look,
space for us. I don't
yeah,
know.
if I get more people banned from the parks, then they can't go and I can.
So we can't bring
Oh.
Jared to Disney anymore, basically.
No, you can. So before we move on from this show, I do want to say that there is a winter spectacular for the World of Color. It features Olaf, and it's more of a seasonal show. It has like Christmas music, and it kind of has the winter feel, obviously with Olaf. Have you guys watched that one?
No, I didn't even honestly know that was a thing. I didn't realize that they had a seasonal World of Color. That's pretty cool.
I'm not
Actually, the
sure if
first
it's called World of Color, but it's just a seasonal show that is done at the same area as World of Color.
it
And
is
it
World of Color Seasons Greetings or something like that, because I accidentally started watching that one first, and I was like, wait, that's not the right one. So I went back and rewatched the regular, but I didn't watch the whole thing, just like the first minute or so.
Yeah. It looked like a really good show, though. Not as good as the World of Color, but fun.
I feel like most of the seasonal shows aren't quite as good as the regular year-round shows, but they definitely get you in like the holiday spirit.
Yes, they
So,
do.
I wonder if they would have even had the regular World of Color while you were there.
Yeah, I was just thinking that as well. I bet it was still the holiday show. So now y'all can't be quite as mad at me.
Do you not think that they would have had both?
No, probably
Probably
not.
not. Like whenever we were at Disneyland, instead of the regular parade, the regular nighttime parade, it was still the Christmas parade. So normally they like swap the regular show out for the seasonal one. Unfortunately, I feel like they should still do both.
Well, that's just disappointing. Okay, so that's going to bring us to our next show, which is Disneyland's Mickey's Mix Magic, and it looks awesome.
I loved this show. This was one of my favorite ones that I watched.
It's so much fun.
It doesn't just incorporate the castle, it goes all the way down Main Street.
Yeah, that's the
And
thing that I loved most about it.
yeah, it looks like it's just so much fun. Like the music is remixes of Disney songs, and it just gets you in this like fun dance mode. It's like you're at one of the dance parties, like the Disney Junior Dance Party.
Yeah, just up and down Main Street.
Yeah, up and down Main Street. It's very fun.
And they added in parts of like the Haunted Mansion,
Oh, that
which
part
was
is
really
so good.
cool. I think that's from a cartoon, a Mickey cartoon, but I can't remember the name of it.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Have to look that up.
I just recognize the voice, and yeah, you see the imagery, and it's obviously Haunted Mansion. So
Yeah.
there is a really cool part when they go into Frozen, and it starts snowing on Main Street.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. I mean, I always love whenever it snows on Main Street in Disney World. So having it like year round at Disneyland is like awesome. It's a nice little touch.
It's so cool. I think anytime Frozen is like incorporated into a show, it should start snowing.
I agree.
That should
Make
be
it
like a
happen.
rule of thumb for Disney.
And their fireworks seem to go along with the music too, like timed well, and when she was letting it go, I mean, the fireworks were sparking all over the place. I mean, it was cool.
Yeah. I think that Disneyland made a really smart decision whenever they decided to like incorporate the projections onto the shops and stuff on Main Street as well as the castle, because Disneyland's castle is quite a bit smaller than the one in Disney World. And I think it would just be a little underwhelming if it was just the castle alone. So that was a smart move, and it's something that's special and different than at the other parks.
I agree with that.
That's a really good point. Also, it just puts you in the middle of it instead of just watching a projection show. And for this show specifically, because it's like the remix music and it has more of like a dance party feel, I think that they want you to feel like you're in the middle of it. And that way it hypes you up and you dance and the kids have fun. And it's
They
a
want you
really
to
good
feel like you're at a
interactive show.
rave. Right?
Have you been to a rave?
Like a Disney rave. You're like,
A Disney rave.
fist bumping and fist. Is it fist bumping or pumping?
Pumping.
You can say either. Apparently,
I have never been to a rave. If you can't tell.
So would it be Mickey Molly that you take at the
my
rave?
Oh my god. This is a family-friendly show.
It is. Oh, Emily, so naive, so precious.
Oh man.
So I think this honestly is probably one of my favorite shows. It just looks like it's so much fun.
Yeah.
I
I definitely want to see this one in person.
Yes, I do as well. So then let's go ahead and talk about the last show that we have lined up for you. It is Happily Ever After. Have you guys seen this one?
Yes, I actually have seen this one in person. Right whenever it had first come out, actually. And I was kind of mad because I loved Wishes, and Wishes made me cry every single time that I watched it. And so I was a little mad going into the trip that I wasn't going to be seeing Wishes. But after seeing Happily Ever After, I was not disappointed. I feel like it is the perfect castle projection show with the perfect fireworks to go along with it. And it's big and grand and extremely special and gives you those warm, fuzzy feelings that Wishes gave you before. And I really loved it.
We should probably mention that this is at Walt Disney World in the
Yeah.
Magic Kingdom, and it's on Cinderella's Castle in the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, that would be good to mention.
And
So-
I do love this show. It is everything Emily said, and to me, it has the very best fireworks out of all the shows I watched.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, fireworks are super huge for me, and I just love watching this.
Well, I think it had to have like very big fireworks.
Welcome to the trivia portion of the show. This is a trivia show within a podcast. I have a question for Amanda and Emily, and we're going to see how well they know their Disney. Are you guys ready to play?
Yeah, I totally thought that you had forgotten about the trivia portion this week.
I had forgotten we hadn't done it already.
In
Well,
my head, I knew, and I was like, he forgot. But nope.
I did not forget. I was just waiting.
Waiting for Emily to talk.
Yeah,
Yep.
waiting to be able to interrupt Emily specifically. So,
Did you just say specifically?
no, I said specifically. I don't know. Maybe I did say pacifically. Who knows?
I hope not.
I hope I did. All right. I am going in between two different questions. And this one is very hard to choose from, but I'm going to go with this one. What was the name of Merlin's pet owl in the Disney's story, The Sword and the Stone?
I think this one
Archimedes.
is. Oh. What is it?
Archimedes.
How
Yep.
how confident are you in that answer?
I'm fairly confident.
Okay, fairly confident isn't a percentage.
I mean, I just randomly pulled this name out of a hat. So, I mean, I'm pretty confident that this has got to be it. I may be pronouncing it incorrectly, but I'm in the ballpark.
Okay,
You sounded pretty confident. I think you should go with it.
so she sounded really confident, and then all of a sudden she said, I just pulled it out of nowhere.
I
Emily, do you
know.
have...
I did. I mean, come on. What kind of name is that? It's not like Chuck, you know? I mean, it's Archimedes.
Emily,
That's a
do you
very
have a
random
guess?
I've never seen The Sword and the Stone.
name.
Oh, blasphemy.
I know.
It's on Disney Plus.
I know. I need to watch it. There's a lot of movies I need to watch that are on my list.
Okay, you guys ready for the answer?
Mhm.
I know I'm right. Let's go.
Amanda, you are correct. It is Archimedes.
Good job.
I can't believe I got that.
I felt like this was a toss up, and I really thought that you were going to nail it. So I wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit of confidence to know that you got some right. Because let's be honest, I have
Didn't think
really
we were
good
gonna
trivia
get that right.
questions.
I really feel like you should have gone with the other question that you were considering because maybe I would have gotten that one.
Welcome to the lightning round. This is the
Round
trivia
2.
podcast within a podcast. I have a question for Amanda and Emily. Are you guys ready to play?
Yeah.
Better luck for me this time. Let's go.
Maybe so. All right. What name did Ursula use when she became human in The Little Mermaid?
Melody.
That's
No,
Ariel's
that's her.
daughter's name.
Yep, you're right. That's the first name that came up. Hold on.
Okay, see,
Do you want multiple
know
choice?
Ariel's daughter's name and not is it Kate? No, it's not
No.
Kate.
Let me give you the multiple choice.
Okay.
A, Vanessa. B,
Vanessa.
Alexis. C, Amber. Or D, Kathy.
It's A.
How
I wasn't
confident?
so sure, and then you read all the rest of the names, and now I'm pretty sure it's A.
I'm surprised he didn't put Kate in there.
I
to really
know.
throw you off
If you had said Kate, I would have thought it was Kate.
instead of Kathy.
Yeah,
So what are you guys going with?
Vanessa.
You are correct. You got 2 out of 2.
Woo!
That's very
We
good.
did it.
I am very
Double
proud
did
of you
it.
both.
Double did it. We're awesome.
Double did it. And I don't know. I just, in the moment, decided, you know what? Let's give them 2 questions this week. So you're welcome.
We threw you off getting the first one correct.
Yeah, and I really wanted to stump you. And then you got the second one correct. So I'm going to have to really pick up my game and really stump you next episode.
I have not been confident in any of the answers, so you could tone it down a little bit. Take it down a level over here.
We're a team, Em. We got it.
Yeah.
We're good. As long as one of us gets it, we're good.
But I feel like Jared always asks about movies that are more in like y'all's time. No offense.
Little Mermaid? You watched
Well-
Little Mermaid.
Yeah, it's just been a while since I mean, it's been a couple years.
I mean, we can go for round 3. You guys ready?
No.
We're good.
Let's move on for tonight.
Okay, so getting back into Happily Ever After, I don't think I've ever seen this one in person. Mostly because the most recent trips that I've gone on have been during the Christmas time.
Well, they still do Happily Ever After on normal nights during the holidays.
Yeah, but I'm not
The
staying in
only-
the park and watching the shows, though.
That's the thing. I didn't stay in the park. The time when I saw a show at the park at Magic Kingdom, it was at the Christmas party. So we had the Christmas Wishes show, which I can't remember the name of. So I didn't get to see Happily Ever After because we were there during the Christmas show. One of my favorite parts of this show, though, is when Tinkerbell flies in at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. I cry every time.
You cry?
If y'all can't tell, I am a very I love Disney and this stuff gets me emotional, man.
It does. That is a very emotional part. I mean, the whole crowd, whenever they see her, everybody stops and looks up at
They
her.
all
and-
gasp. Everyone's like,
Yeah. I mean, it is because everybody, I mean, there's thousands of people all looking at Tinkerbell fly in. I mean, it is
Yeah.
emotional.
Yeah, no, it's an awesome moment, but to make you cry though? That's my question. And maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just desensitive
It's
or
just you.
desensitized.
I can guarantee you that whenever I'm at Disney World, I probably cry at least a dozen times. Happy cry, not sad cry.
You're not talking full on crying, right? You're just like
No,
you
like
tear up, right?
tears, and I'm like, oh, it's so happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless you wear brand new shoes, then you're crying for real.
Then I'm real crying. I definitely real cried that night.
Don't do that again.
Yeah.
That should have been my tip for the day. Don't wear new shoes to the park.
Yeah.
So, question: how do you get that job to be Tinkerbell and fly in?
I don't know.
No.
Is there like
That's-
some special checkbox that's like, yeah, sign me up for this?
Willing to fly. I don't know. I don't think I could do it. I'd step out and be like, nope. Mm-mm. Nope.
I know.
I'm
Can
afraid
you
of heights.
imagine your first time to like fly as Tinkerbell? That's scary.
That is scary. It'd be scary for me.
See,
It's
I
almost
want to
like
sign
bungee
up for
jumping.
that. Yeah, see,
You
that's,
cannot be Tinkerbell.
You will not make a very pretty Tinkerbell. I'm
I
just
think
sorry.
I would. I would make a great Tinkerbell.
Oh man.
I guess they won't see his face whenever he's way up there.
Can you imagine him in the Tinkerbell dress?
That's your Halloween costume.
We really need to post pictures of ourselves on our social media so people can also envision Jared in the Tinkerbell costume and understand why it's so funny.
So I have a legitimate question for you. If we're talking about somebody's first flight as Tinkerbell, do you think instead, on that first time only, they're called Tinklebell?
Oh, God. This is not a legitimate question, is it?
Oh, I don't know how you just came up with that. That is too good.
And I really hope she doesn't tinkle when she's flying because there are lots of people underneath her.
It's just pixie dust.
Oh, God. Maybe you have to wear a diaper.
Oh gosh, this conversation has gone off the rails. We got to bring it back in.
You're welcome.
Before we move on, I would like to say one more thing about Happily Ever After.
Go ahead.
Just from experience, whenever we went, I mean, it was still a pretty brand new show, but I felt like we got there early for the most part, but then people came right in front of us, and I'm only 5 feet tall, so I can speak for the shorter people and the children. Like, if you don't have a prime spot for this show, you're not going to be able to see a lot of the projections on the castle. Like, I could see the top half of the castle and the fireworks, of course, but I was missing things that were going on the bottom half of the castle that my husband, for example, could see and I couldn't. So if you have small children, I would definitely make sure to get there early and get a central spot, like right in front of the castle, where you know you're going to be able to see, even if people come and stand like in front of you.
That's a very good tip.
That is a good tip. I do have a question then. So they have the fireworks dessert parties at Magic Kingdom. Are those good viewing areas?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they rope off the hub area that's like the grassy area in the park. And then, of course, you won't have people standing in front of you right there because it's all roped off. So I think if you're willing to pay the extra money, like maybe if it's like a special occasion and or if it's like a one-time trip to Disney and you want to make sure that you see this show, I think the dessert party would be something that would be worth it to do so that you make sure that you can see it and have a good experience.
Very cool. So that's going to bring us into mousekeeping. We do have a couple reviews that you have all submitted. Thank you so much for submitting those 5-star reviews. We're going to read 2 of them this week. The first one comes from Reggae Bay from November 6th of last year. and the title is Nice. And their comment is nice.
That's so nice.
Nice. So thank you, Reggae Bay, for that nice comment. We do have the next one. It comes from Abernathy1, submitted November 19th of last year. The Three Musketeers is entertaining and informative. The three hosts/siblings are entertaining and have a diverse knowledge of the Disney universe. I have learned a lot and laughed a lot listening to their myriad of Disney experiences. So thank you, Abernathy1, for your 5-star written review.
Yeah, thanks. If you're looking to give your family a magical vacation, you can contact me on social media at amanda.hollis, Capture the Magic Vacations. My services are free, and I can plan as much or as little of your experience as you want. You can find my contact information within the show notes.
Join us on our next episode because we're going to be discussing how Disney just bought some new land and the possibility of a fifth gate and what we'd like to see.
Well, that's going to do it for this week. Thanks for listening. You can also be a part of the magic by following the show at T3M Podcast. That's T3, the number 3, M Podcast on all social media platforms. Leave us a 5-star written review and we'll read it on an upcoming episode. If you have an announcement that you would like to have on the show or just want to reach out to us, send us an email at t3mpodcast@gmail.com.
Have a zippity-doo-dah day.
See you real soon.